Welcome back in. You're watching Real Estate in the Lowcountry. And of course, we have one of our favorite guests on the show. It's always nice to have Joan Kelly here. I love watching you on TV. Joan, thank you so much for returning to the show.
My pleasure to be here.
Always nice to see you. And you know, today I really want to spend some time talking about what's happening in the real estate market. So much speculation on this topic. I mean, folks who are in the industry, not in the industry, we all have an idea of what may be going on. What are your thoughts as an expert?
Thanks for asking. I think as probably a lot of your guests are probably talking about, we are starting to see a shift in the market, and that's locally as well as nationally. And we're seeing a slowdown on the number of homes going under contract. And as a result, inventory is slowly starting to build. And the result of that is we're starting to see price reductions, which we haven't seen in a long time. In the last 7 days, we've had 94 price reductions.
Really?
And all that being said, it's not a time to panic about that. It is still a strong seller's market. A balanced market would be 4 to 6 months of inventory, and we're nowhere near that yet. So I think what people just need to be aware of is nationally there are areas that are seeing fairly dramatic changes, and we tend to lag the rest of the nation, and this is something we just need to be aware of. And with price reductions taking place, people just need to be realistic in their expectations. So not anything to panic about, and I think it's still a good time to sell, and probably better now than 3, 6, 12 months from now. So keep that in mind if you're considering going on the market.
That's perfect. You answered the question that was rolling around in my mind as you were talking, is it still a good time to sell? And sounds like it is. So let's talk a little bit about advice that you have for sellers who are in the market now.
Sure. As I said, be realistic. You need to be realistic about pricing, and you need to be realistic about condition, things that haven't been as much of a concern in the last year or so. And so we as realtors and anyone else, we don't dictate what the value of the house is. The market tells us. Mm-hmm. So if your house is not getting showings or getting offers, this is the type of market you don't want to delay reacting to that. I know it's counterintuitive, but I've seen it happen over and over again. If you go on the market at too high of a price, ultimately you will likely sell for less than if you had priced it correctly up front. A lot of agents today have not seen anything but an increasing market. And I built my business during the last recession, and we've sold over 2,000 homes. So we have our finger on the pulse of what's happening, and we can serve as consultants to our clients so that we can help them make the best decisions on reacting, what they may want to do in reaction to what's happening in the market.
Wow, some really key takeaways there about, making sure you have an expert on your side to know where you need to come in, because you hate to, like you said, overprice and lose money because of
100%.
that. With the minute we have left, tell us a little bit about some of the options you have on the market.
Absolutely. We are all about providing options. And so now that the market's shifting a little bit, there may be sellers who are not so interested in doing what needs to be done to prepare their home for sale, aren't so excited about having people come through their house potentially for several weeks, and it may be a good option for them to consider a cash offer. And we can provide a cash offer, closing with the terms that works for a potential seller. So that's one option. The other one is if a seller has a home that hasn't been updated in a long time, we can also work with the seller to do some of those upgrades and repairs that'll net them more, and we can cover that cost and be reimbursed at closing. And we've netted over $200,000 more for some of the clients that we've worked with over the last year or two.
Wow, those are great options to consider, because some of those things you're really not sure what to do and what's going to be available to you when you're working with a real estate professional. So
and what makes sense to do and what doesn't make sense to. What are the things that actually bring money to the seller?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, having an expert on your side like Joan, of course, is a great idea. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll be back with more after the break.